TIFU by quitting and spending all my life savings. I, 26M, graduated from law school in June 2021, and by July 2021 I was already working at a law firm in my city. I worked at the law firm for 2 years before realizing I actually didn't like to practice law and instead wanted to try and do something else. My sister told me we could partner up and create a business. So in February 2023 I told the firm that I was going to venture into other businesses and that May was going to be my last month working with them. May came and my sister backed down from the plan, meaning I was left alone. She was going to provide the money, so I needed to save more if I wanted to start anything by myself. Now, my dad is a very successful businessman, but he's always needed some help with the legal side of business. In order to raise some money for my project, I told him that I could help him by reviewing all of his property titles to make sure everything was up to date legally, and by making a corporate review of his companies. I quoted him and told him the job would be ready by August 2023. I began working, and then, for some reason, I just stopped. I began spending my days locked in my room playing video games or doomscrolling until nighttime came. I then spent all my nights with my partner and hanging out with friends. In the morning too, went to the gym, and then spent the rest of the days laying in my bed and feeling bad for myself until nighttime came, where I went out with my friends and or partner. When August came, I began to feel like a piece of SHT. The work was only halfway done and I couldn't deliver at all. My dad wasn't pressuring me into delivering, so I played dumb and just kept doing nothing. I had lost all motivation and did almost nothing that was work-related for months. I kept living like this, doing nothing during the day and then hanging out socially at night. All this time I have been living off my life savings and spending money like a madman. I went on trips, bought presents, bought clothing, video games, gym memberships, restaurants, clubs, hotels. I did everything but make money. On October, I sat down with my dad, told him that I had failed to deliver and that I had no one to blame but myself. He told me I had until December to deliver him the promised work, and again, I did nothing. Now January is almost halfway done and I am far from finishing. I have dried up all of my life savings. And if I don't get paid before Thursday, I will go into debt. Today my dad asked me what I was doing with my life, and for some reason I lied. Told him that I was done and could deliver this week. We will meet in 3 days so I can deliver everything, but I just don't have it ready. I don't know what came over me all this time, or why I just can't seem to get anything done. I feel like such a failure, and I'm applying for jobs in law firms again. Just what I wanted to escape from. I always thought of myself as someone capable. I always had good grades. I graduated college with an honorable mention, and my bosses used to congratulate me often in my work. I quit because I was miserable as a lawyer. And I promised myself that I would be successful elsewhere. But I just feel like such a failure, and I don't know how to regain control over my life. I truly feel worthless and lost. I plan on working my ass off for the next 3 days to deliver as much as I can. But that will never change the fact that I wasted all my life savings and a full year of my life doing nothing. Maybe I'm just not cut for business and have to stick to being miserable as a lawyer. Have I ruined my life by quitting my past job? TLD, or I was miserable as a lawyer and quit my job. I offered legal services to my father's companies but have failed to deliver the promised work for over a year. Ever since, I have been living off my life savings, and if I don't get paid in 3 days I will have to go into debt to pay my credit card. How can I take back control over my life? Better get off Reddit. You got work to do. Put your head down and push hard. Work day and night if that's what it takes. Good luck. No one is going to pick up the ball and dribble for you. No one cares if you succeed or not. You're one of those who grew up with the smart or clever label, didn't you? Everyone just kept telling you how quick you were to learn things and praised you for getting your homework finished on time, even if it was just started the night before. So you built a whole identity around it. It's time someone also pointed out that it took you a lot of work to get there. You passed the bar. You've done hard work. Just for some reason you forgot the process of work comes before the finished product. You not finishing this project doesn't make you a failure. And it doesn't make you any less you. Don't be ashamed to ask for help, or that you are looking for a direction and haven't found it yet. Therapy. You need to check in with yourself and admit that you have a few destructive patterns. We all do. You just need to figure out how yours plays out and manage it, and look in the mirror. Clearly, you already have started to look in the mirror, and it will hurt, but it will feel better to be honest with yourself. You were able to make it through law school, so you know how to work. You have to give yourself a job, hire yourself to get everything done. If you can conceive of the notion of hiring yourself, you can fix this near-term problem and then look to the long-term problems with clear eyes. This is just a setback. Life is long. I started talking to a therapist during the pandemic, and it was clear to her that I was depressed. It's tough, but it's been really good. I think you should talk to a therapist. I think the lack of motivation stems from A. You quit your law career because you did not actually like practicing law. And B. You decided to offer up law services, knowing you bailed because you don't like practicing law. Of course you have no motivation. What you should have done when you quit and found out your sister bailed was find a mediocre, temporary job to make some money while you figured things out. If you don't like law, why offer the services? You can still come clean and work off the money he paid you. Or finish the job and move on to something that is not law. Quick question. Were you going to be doing legal work for your sister? I suspect it would have turned out the same, as you would have gotten burned out and slacked off knowing it's family, as you're doing now. You said you're miserable as a lawyer. Find something else. A mindless part-time job will get you out of the house and put some money in your pocket, while keeping your mind off of law. Honestly, it sounds like typical ADD given the lack of impulse control. Been through it myself. First step is to admit that you got into a hole, but that you're definitely young and able enough to find your way out. I have no doubt that you're probably a pretty smart person and can figure out the near term if you wanted to. But over the long term, I might recommend seeing a doctor about ADHD meds. Maybe see a therapist just to talk everything out. Keep hitting the gym, and make a point to network and socialize. Inaction results in nothing, but just being active changes a lot. A huge percentage of lawyers end up quitting and moving on to other professions. You're not alone. I was one. You need to deliver this work to your dad, who's graciously waiting and given you an extension and will give you some cash and breathing room, and then find another career path that's more fulfilling to you. It sounds like your parents may offer some comfort and help to you as you explore your options. There is life after law. You may find your legal background is even useful to you in other fields. I agree with people who say therapy will help long term. But there's a little thing you can try while you're waiting. Think about your life to date. I'm guessing school, extracurricular activities, higher education, work. Where in that did you ever have to decide your own schedule? Or manage your long-term commitments without an external pressure? This is your first experience of life where the only pressure had been internal. You've had enough money to live. You haven't needed to do anything to get more. The life you lived is the choice you made because there was no immediate pressure to make better for the long-term choices. You're going back to external pressures now. You need money. And you're getting an employer. And that will give you back a familiar structure which will help. But maybe try and figure out a thing you can do that requires internal motivation. And build that up to get you prepared for the next time you get this chance. You need a dopamine detox and get tested for ADHD. Oh God, I recognize all of this. I was always a smart kid, effortless academic achiever. Had various talents, music, story writing, artistic, etc. But when it came to adulthood, I sucked at getting my head down and delivering in real life. There's no big problem here, dude. You have all the tools you need to succeed. You just need to focus. Think of how good you'll feel once the job has been done. Get off Reddit. Have a wank. Make a coffee. Put your phone in a different room, and get those files reviewed. I have a few things I say to myself when I have a huge task that's overwhelming me. 1. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Point 2. Start simple and try. Point 3. The man who moved a mountain started by moving small rocks. Focus on one file at a time. Give yourself structured breaks. Make sure you are eating to fuel your brain. Go. Funny to read these comments. I recognize so many different types of people and ways they deal with problems. Honestly, I wish I could just snap myself back into it like some people. I just recently did what you did. Not for a year, but for a month and a half. And I didn't spend all my money. But I just chose not to participate in basically anything. Took me 3 or 4 days to convince myself that I could attend my own birthday party. Barely survived. I ended up getting a call from a new client that I was actually excited to work with. And that gave me a little motivation to get back in the swing of things. I still feel the urge to check out though. I'm working on finding a better kind of harmony this year. If that doesn't pan out, I know the exact room in the exact hotel on the exact island where I'll be restarting my life as an enigmatic alcoholic author. Tongue out. In all seriousness though, give yourself some grace. You do need to get going again. But you don't need to beat yourself up about where you've been. It won't do any good anyway. One foot in front of the other. What are you doing here? Tighten up, bozo. Run-of-the-mill young adult developing ADD combined with depression caused by these career events. A therapist could be very helpful. Playing harder feels better when you work hard. Lawyers are a dime a dozen right now. Years ago it was a license to print money. Not so much anymore. Work around the clock and get what you can accomplished for your dad. You owe him that much. Together with a reasonable explanation. Despite your parent being financially successful, it's still an expenditure to send a child to law school. I'm assuming he did this. He likely wanted you to be successful for you and to bask in seeing your hard work bear fruit. On the job front, a lot of people with a law degree work as in-house counsel. Much less stress or legal advisory roles to companies. There are other various jobs for individuals with a legal background as well. I would look into some of these options in terms of work. The firm environment isn't for everyone, and though rewarding financially, can kill your spirit. Best of luck. Oh no, the consequences of my actions. Super similar to me. 26. Worked in tech and quit. Major depression and probably 10 other mental illnesses. Whatever. I've just been enjoying life day by day and spending my life savings. Isn't that what happiness is? What everyone wishes they could do. When it runs out, I don't really know. But I couldn't ever work in a corporate environment again. Tell your dad the truth. Pucker down and do as much as you can. Visualize the worst case scenario of what might happen if you don't get it done. Which usually isn't that bad. Start small. And stop shooting for the stars. This is just depression and not having any healthy coping mechanisms. Get yourself into therapy, get treatment, and then complete the work. Also, if you're going to get paid, then start subbing out the work. If you're half done, then you should be able to get the rest finished for less than what you're getting paid. Right?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicuricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.